Brought to you by Penguin.
Melmoth the Wanderer by Charles Maturin. Read by Gerry O'Brien.
Both for ease of listening and because it contains details of the plot, we've placed the introduction to this Penguin classic at the end of the audiobook.
Preface. The hint of this romance, or tale, was taken from a passage in one of my sermons, which, as it is to be presumed very few have read, I shall here take the liberty to quote. The passage is this: "At this moment is there one of us present, however we may have departed from the Lord, disobeyed his will, and disregarded his word, is there one of us who would, at this moment, accept all that man could bestow, or earth afford, to resign the hope of his salvation? No, there is not one, not such a fool on earth, were the enemy of mankind to traverse it with the offer." This passage suggested the idea of Melmoth the Wanderer. The reader will find that idea developed in the following pages, with what power or success he is to decide. The Spaniard's Tale has been censured by a friend to whom I read it as containing too much attempt at the revivification of the horrors of Radcliffe romance, of the persecutions of convents and the terrors of the Inquisition. I defended myself by trying to point out to my friend that I had made the misery of conventual life depend less on the startling adventures one meets with in romances than on that irritating series of petty torments which constitutes the misery of life in general, and which, amid the tideless stagnation of monastic existence, solitude gives its inmates leisure to invent, and power combined with malignity, the full disposition to practice. I trust this defence will operate more on the conviction of the reader than it did on that of my friend. For the rest of the romance, there are some parts of it which I have borrowed from real life. The story of John Sandal and Eleanor Mortimer is founded in fact. The original from which the wife of Walberg is imperfectly sketched is a living woman, and long may she live. I cannot again appear before the public in so unseemly a character as that of a writer of romances, without regretting the necessity that compels me to it. Did my profession furnish me with the means of subsistence, I should hold myself culpable indeed in having recourse to any other. But am I allowed the choice? Dublin, 31st of August, 1820. Chapter 1. Alive again. Then show me where he is. I'll give £1,000 to look upon him. Shakespeare. In the autumn of 1816, John Melmoth, a student in Trinity College, Dublin, quitted it to attend a dying uncle on whom his hopes for independence chiefly rested. John was the orphan son of a younger brother, whose small property scarce could pay John's college expenses. But the uncle was rich, unmarried, and old, and John from his infancy had been brought up to look on him with that mingled sensation of awe and of the wish, without the means to conciliate, that sensation at once attractive and repulsive, with which we regard a being who, as nurse, domestic, and parent have tutored us to believe, holds the very threads of our existence in his hands, and may prolong or snap them when he pleases. On receiving this summons, John set immediately out to attend his uncle. The beauty of the country through which he travelled, it was the county Wicklow, could not prevent his mind from dwelling on many painful thoughts, some borrowed from the past, and more from the future. His uncle's caprice and moroseness, the strange reports concerning the cause of the secluded life he had led for many years, his own dependent state, fell like blows fast and heavy on his mind. He roused himself to repel them, sat up in the mail, in which he was a solitary passenger.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?